everyone, and welcome to another episode of Visions of War. Today, we're going to be going against Starjammers, Star Scammers, I like to call them, because we were scammed into thinking that this is a team that we were going to need, and now we have to have Lilandra or Lilana or Lilandra or however you say her name, Lily, at Gear 20 in order to get Prof. It's the only required tune in that whole thing, even though secretly Liberty is required, but still. Anyways, I digress. We're going to be using Orchis in this. This is you can very easily beat this team of Vigilante, but in order to have a 1-2 combo or to use Vigilante somewhere else to help out with, we're going to be using Orchis today just to show how to do it. This is a counter that was showed to me by a teammate of mine, Echo. Thank you, Echo. It's been very good for us. It's worked quite well. There are some sketchy spots to get into, and the basic thing into this is to be hitting into Groot first with the Nimrod special, and then leaving him the hell alone. Because you don't want him to revive, and he will revive if the rest of the people are there. Sometimes when you have these unbalanced teams with a huge Lily and a huge Havoc, and small on the other ones, it gets kind of dicey. So when you see these nice evened ones and they're grouped well for you, yeah, this is what to use. So if you are putting this team on defense for some reason, make sure you put Groot and Lily right next to each other. That's how you want this team to do. But since they didn't, this is going to be easy for us. So we're going to ult with Scientist Supreme first. Then we're going to special with the, as Four said, Nimrod onto Groot, give him a mobility block, and then we're going to go all out, balls to the wall at Lily to take her out before the rest of the team really does anything. I like Striker on Lady Deathstrike, and I like using the ability block here on Lily. I know a lot of people use the ult there. That's also something that's very doable. I do like using the special there, though. Just that extra sense of mind or peace of mind that she's going to be ability blocked when she does get her turn is so nice for me to have. So I do like doing that. We're going to spawn in another Sentinel. Might as well have two, right? Because when it gets to the ult, it's just going to do more damage the more Sentinels I have. So hopefully those two can stay alive. Although, Howard is going to do his best to make sure that doesn't happen. So as you can see, they just kind of like go through their phases here. We're going to take Lily out here, hopefully. There we go. She gone. So now we can start worrying about him. We can target him with Nimrod here. Takes out the adjacent people first and then targets him. He's going to do his thing, but he's ability block, so it's just a basic, nothing to worry about. Let's just go ahead and stun. So AoE here. We got a couple Sentinels here, so it's a little bit more damage. Gladiator is not a Star Scammer, so Gladiator does not count for Groot's revives, but we do have to get through him in order to get to Groot. Here's a little basic by a Sentinel bot, and another basic by a Sentinel bot, and I think Scientist Supreme goes here now. Yep. Basic by Sentinels, and then we get we get Nimrod. So here we go. We'll do a shit ton of damage with the Nimrod special and just take them away. Pretty cool ability. I like this Orchis team. It's we've had it for a while. We built it, look, of course, he revived. All right, Sentinel, do your thing. See how much damage you can do. He's got defense up, so I don't know if this will kill him. Nope. Here's the revives and health. This is what we were worried about, right? And if you have this when Lily's still on the field and he's reviving and healing up, he also revives and heals up her. So it becomes a problem, and then the safeguards become a problem, and immunities become a problem, and they become a problem, and you lose the match. So, yeah, ability block Groot, then go straight to Lily, kill all of them off, and then come back. And so let's go into the team itself, the ISOs, and why to do what. So here we got the team. This is in a different account. But it's an old raid team. You can still use it if you want, if you don't have Insidious built up. You just can't do the Insidious nodes, so you do have to have them some level in order to get some resources out of that. Or you can just skip the two nodes that you don't have to do, the Insidious and the Hellfire one, and just do the old teams if you want to. I do like how that's kind of set up in that Annihilation raid because I really do love this team. It's such a tank, and it really does very well. And it gives me a 1-2 on if we see Star Scammers in there because so many people love Crucible. So a lot of people have that team built up. So we do see it quite often. So these are the ISOs I have right now for this team. Uh, it seems to work well for the day and age that they're playing, right? So what we used to have is Scientist Supreme as a healer. We've moved to Skirmisher because she needs more focus. Because we're noticing with the new meta uh, and the new diamonds and the new ISOs that she just wasn't getting the flips as she was before. So putting her at Skirmisher seems to help a little bit with that. Omega Sentinel is a skirmisher because she does some assists and pings and puts, the ability blocks and the stuns. So you want more focus on that as well. Sentinel, he really does nothing. You can put him as a healer and he's going to be fine. You can put him as a raider and he's going to be fine. It really depends on like the diamonds that you have on him and the how far upgraded you have him. If you're one of those people that took him to gear 20 to take to prof, then you probably can put a raider on him and you'll be fine. I want a little bit more damage out of him, and you saw it wasn't very much damage, even with the 2 bots. Like, it wasn't a lot of damage. So I have him at striker just so that way maybe I can get a double tap out of him and some more. Nimrod, you want raider. That opening crit that he does, if he can put vulnerable on everybody, he just sets up for Lady Deathstrike so well, and just so much damage. So I love having raider on him. And then LDS, dude. I mean, this is an early tune that just keeps on giving, right? It used to be Sabretooth, and now it's gone off to her. And now we got a Mega Red getting reworked. That Weapon X team, man. Some of the tunes on that team. And Wolverine was there before, now in Alpha Flight. What a great team that we got right off the bat. And this one just keeps on giving. Love Lady Deathstrike and what she does. So let's go into what these tunes do. Okay, we'll go into the different abilities. So we want to have this go off, right? Applying 2 bleeds to the primary and adjacent is very important, but it also reduces the speed bar. So you don't need to have the T4 on this, but if you want more bleeds, which is nice to have, then do it. This one is really where you want to go with the T4 for her, and that's gaining the extra 2 evades and lowering the resistance for enemies with bleed. So when you put bleed on them, lowers the resistance, kind of like Undying does, and she really just goes bird at that point in time. So I would say the passive, the special, and then the ult would be the importance for that. That's just rebounding more and putting more bleeds, of course, which is what she likes to do. And then let's go into Nimrod. So Nimrod special, that's where we want to have this, right? The ability block for 2 turns the primary target. It really helps in case Lily gets a churn to keep that ability block on. And it's going to flip all positive effects on each target, which this is an AoE. So that's everybody. So if they don't have safeguard, there you go. If they do, for some reason, if you're going into a team that has safeguard to start, you can even use somebody like APOC with them or Ares with them, and you can make sure they don't have safeguard, then use his ult or his special, and it flips all that stuff. It's beautiful. So I would say special first, then the passive, just because if it has 4 or more. So this is a cookie cutter one, right? So it's going to lower the dodge chance. So you make sure all these things hit. So they're not going to be dodging. So if you guys remember, like Web Warriors and stuff like that, all those dodges, man, holy Lord, he just makes sure that they stay in place, right? And then probably the ult, just because, it gets more crit chance, it does more damage. And then if you have 3 or more Orchis allies, you're going to apply trauma for 2 turns rather than I think it's 1 turn to begin with, or it might be 0 turns to begin with. Don't really worry about the basic unless you just want them to do more damage. Sentinel, I think the passive is really the only thing to do, right? So on spawn, if he has 2 or more Orchis allies, okay, summon the reinforcements gain taunt. That's a cool thing. So you have the taunter on the bat, so they have to go after it. And then you also get immunity on your Orchis allies. The next one, maybe T4 would be the ult, but you don't really need it. It's just always going to give you 1 and 1 rather than 1 or 1. So that's really the difference. And then this one, apply deflect, you get an extra attack. But he's not really in it for the attack, so no big deal. Just remember your bots too. You get 2 different bots. The one with the double gun right here, this is the one that's going to hit adjacently, whereas the one with the single gun, that's how I think of it, is going to hit one, right? So single hit one, double hit two, right? You see how there's two prongs on this weapon there? So that's going to hit two, right? Two or more. And then single, that's going to hit one. That's how I remember those. So just so you can plan your attacks a little bit better when they do hit, so you're not hitting adjacently. Let's go into Mega Sentinel. This is the one that if you're playing against them, she revives like crazy, right? Like crazy. But if you're playing with her, yeah, she's probably not going to revive once. But yeah, if she does die on death, 30% chance to revive with 30% of this character's max health. So a little lower than Nobu, a little higher than Deadpool on his own. But she just seems to always revive. And then she does some cool stuff in raids, of course. But this one here, the revive chance for each summer tech ally gain 35% revive chance and revive with an additional 10% max health. So this is in raids. In raids, she revives all the time, and I swear to God, this ability is kicked in for war when they're on defense and you're going against them. I just really feel that way. Anyways, so her ult, if you're going against mutant teams, which you can punch up huge against, this one, the stun, right? You want this ability to be T4'd because you're going to get 2 turns of stun for 2 random mutant and or tech allies, right? And you're playing, I always like to target the person I want to have stunned. It seemed like that happens more often, and then it's just somebody. But yeah, it's unavoidable. It's gonna happen. The bigger she is, which is why I have her at skirmisher, the bigger she is, the better chance for those to stick. And then you got against other teams, you got this ability block on her special. She's very useful. It's a reviver. It's an AoE attack with stuns and ability blocks if you need to instead. Very, very good. And then she also pings passively when they take a turn. So if they hit you, she hits them back. So it's kind of cool. It's you know, good character, good build, stuff like that. 19's about where you need her to be at the most. I wouldn't need. And then as far as Sentinel, 19's where you need to be at the most. You could probably have them both at 18 and be okay, and have Nimrod 1920 even if you want to take them to prof, and then Lady Deathstrike 1920 because you want to take the prof. Lady Deathstrike's amazing. I wouldn't take Sentinel or Omega Sentinel into Professor X. Not really a lot of use there. Scientist Supreme. This is somebody you see on a lot of weird teams. We used to have a team back in the day before she was any good that was Captain Marvel. So she would, on her turn, she would remove all debuffs from her, right? So you would use Scientist Supreme with her, and she would put a bunch of debuffs with her ult, right? Because her ult puts debuffs on everybody. And then so Miss Marvel would take her, or Captain Marvel would take her turn, remove all those buffs, and do huge damage, right? But now it's just, this is an Orchis, right? This is Orchis. This is what you use with Orchis is her. It's really the only place that you're going to see her. But she has an unavoidable first attack with extra focus. I do like the skirmisher on that just to make sure that 500% actually lands, because if you see Mysterio's abilities, he's got 10,000%. If you see, I think it's Magneto has 10,000%. So this is only 500%. So compared to some of those, it's not very big. So the skirmisher does help with that. But yeah, so her passive, it gets a passive revive chance, right? A 25%. That's 1 out of 4. It's more like 1 out of 100 for your own tunes, so you try not to get your people to die. You do get speed bar filled at 50%, so she's starting at the 50-yard line going forward right off the bat, so she's going to go first most of the time. She's going to, none of that stuff. She gets ability energy, though, on an ally summon, so she's going to get that. So when you summon even those bots, she gets ability energy for Orchis allies. And then her special, I would T4. Her ult, don't worry about her passive. Yeah, probably T4 on that for the ability energy. So special and the passive is really all you need in her. And like I said, skirmisher for the nowadays kind of stuff, because the fact that she's having to do punch ups and she's having to go through some of the resistance. And I would say Gear 19, Gear 18, probably somewhere in there. There's not a reason to take a prof. You could. I've seen people do it. I've seen people take Sentinel as well. She would be my pick before Sentinel if you're wanting to take somebody. But Lady Deathstrike would be my number one, and Nimrod would be my number two. So, and she would probably be number three. But anyways, this is Viz. Tell it like it is. Have fun. Enjoy war. Until next time, we'll see you. Like and subscribe, please. Peace.